is there. The only
share,
thing
bro.
you're
I
getting
mean,
your
they
money
can't-
for
they
is
don't bring it.
whatever you want to do with it later. Yeah.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get ready. Angela's here, so we can start. We'd like to call the meeting to order, and Councilwoman Graybill, if you remember last week, said she'd do it this week, so we're going to ask her to do our prayer and pledge. Please stand.
Heavenly Father, just thank you for this day. Thank you for the opportunity to come in unity to discuss the city's business, Father God, and I just ask that you be with us as we make decisions that affect our community. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If we could have roll call. You did.
Lamar,
Here.
Shropshire,
Here.
Bradshaw. Here. Shears,
Here.
Graybill,
Here.
Trammell,
Here.
Brown,
Here.
Smith.
Here.
All right, petitions from the audience. We have one. Mr. Andrew Martin, are you here? No? Okay. Consent agenda. Do we have any items that want to be pulled off? A through M.
Motion.
Okay, I have a motion to approve, a motion and a second to approve A through M.
Second,
Brown, sorry. Charles had the motion.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw. Yes. Shears,
Yes.
Graybill,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we are going to go ahead because we do have some that are,
Can we, I know I asked you to move the executive session up. Shatswell's not here yet. Can we kind of just wait for him to get here?
we can.
He's on his way, but
Okay, I didn't know
if
if
you don't mind, my
he was
apologies.
part of it.
He is, but
Okay.
Shatswell needs to be here.
We'll go ahead until that time. We've got an executive session, but why don't we go ahead and knock out the addendum, get that out of the way. Give Hannah a second here. Are you good? Item 1, discussion and update regarding the current efforts, actions, and direction of the economic development and promotion of Pryor Creek.
Motion.
Second.
A motion from Choya and a second from Brashears. I just wanted to kind of give everybody a little bit of an update of what's going on, why you may be seeing some things happening, and where we stand with some things. So this is really just an update. And then, of course, I'll open it up to the council for some discussion briefly if we'd like to. Right now, Pryor is in a kind of a good spot. I did the State of the City a few weeks ago, last week, I believe, on Wednesday in the Chamber Luncheon. And it was really nice to be able to report a lot of positives. We talked about where we were when most of us came up and took on about 3 years ago. We were in a pretty bad spot where Colker was telling us, don't spend a penny, don't spend anything that you don't need to spend. And so now it's great to see through a lot of hard work and a lot of effort, a lot of discipline that, we're getting financial reports that are completely in the black. We're trending in the right direction. And things are starting to look a lot more like they need to be looking in order to have a functioning and successful community. Along with that, though, we're seeing a lot of growth in Pryor, and we're seeing a lot of things change as the economy around us changes, where it's time for us to kind of look at the direction we want to go. Last year, or first part of this year, we adopted the rebranding of the new city emblem, the new city idea, but that rebrand goes a lot deeper than just a blue and gold label that says City of Pryor Creek. What we're looking at is Pryor is on the map. No matter where you go in the state, people are talking about Pryor Creek, and a lot of times here, we don't see it. I liked it a lot to the comparison of bamboo. So if you'll just bear with me, I'm going somewhere with this. A bamboo seed, if you haven't seen it, is pretty dang tiny. It's pretty small, and it takes a long time for that planted seed to take root, to do what it needs to do, and after the first year or two, it's still barely even visible. Meanwhile, everything is taking place underground, the roots are growing deep and strong, and then about the fourth year, you get the growth that shoots that bamboo up to over 80 feet tall. So that's kind of where we're at right now, is we've not seen a lot of momentum on the outside, because a lot of the things we've had to kind of rebuild. Sue, I'll give you a copy of that. You don't have to write all that down. She's looking at me like, slow down. The idea is that where we're at right now, Pryor's at a point where visual change is what we're starting to see. We're starting to see the community feel empowered, heard. We're starting to feel a community that feels like they've got some buy-in. You know, we did a Earth Day project this year, and we had several of the council people were there, and we had about 125 to 130 people, if you count all the Cub Scouts and Girl Scouts, that showed up to that event to just help clean up our downtown and help, paint dumpsters. Lori did a great job with that. But the idea is it's pride in our community. It's people taking pride in what we have that we've created. We're starting to see a lot of investors from out of town looking at Pryor going, hey, what are ways that we can invest our money in Pryor to help bring in tax revenues and help the city grow? We're seeing, slowly we're starting to see new businesses show up. We've got a couple new restaurants, and we're starting to see those growth. We all know that there's some other large companies coming in the next few months. Those announcements will be official. But we're excited to see that growth take place right now. And the point is, you all have heard the phrase, if you're not growing, you're dying. And we're not going to die. We are far too resilient for that. And so last year, the tail end of the year, we applied for a community marketing grant through the Department of Commerce, and we were awarded that grant. Originally, it was a $100,000 grant to market Pryor. We took some of that, and some of that money sent us to ICSC, which is the International Convention of Shopping Centers. It's the who's who of municipal networking for retail, brokerage, real estate. It is what it is. If you remember, several years ago, we paid somebody over the duration of 4 years, $250,000 to do that for us. We went and spent $3,600 and did it for ourselves this year and came back with more knowledge than we ever thought we had, to realize that we were already in the game. The things that retailers, that restaurants, that developers are looking for, the numbers that they want in terms of population, work density, traffic counts, we have all of that. We have that through the purchase of our subscription with Placer AI that gives us real-time numbers on the number of people that have been there. So we're able to take those numbers and go back to those places, whether it's like a nationwide coffee drive-through or it's a restaurant, for example, like not saying it's coming, I'm just using an example, like a Zaxby's Chicken or something like that, and say, hey, you're looking for 35,000 cars a day, we're right there. You're looking for a daytime working population of 35 to 40,000, we're right there. You're looking for, 50,000 people that live within 20 minutes of where you would be, we're way beyond that. And so when we do that, we know we're in the game. We know we're in the game. And so we also know now what we lack. We lack things like local franchisees. Because we are rural, a lot of your places like Whataburger, if you go into Tulsa, those are all corporate stores. Our Whataburger is a franchise store. Our McDonald's is franchised. Our Carl Jr. is franchised. We have to find those franchisees to bring those businesses to us. And it's not about having the biggest and the best and keeping up with the Joneses. It's about what we need to increase those revenues that will help us be the best city that we can be. So we put out through that marketing grant and then things that we learned in doing these trips with ICSC or going to other communities and speaking with what they're doing, what we have, sharing some of that knowledge. We put together a request for proposal that's out right now. It should be collected, I believe, in the next week or so for a marketing campaign that says Pryor Creek is open for business. And what that means is we're looking for housing developers. We're looking for brokers, land brokers. We're looking for small business owners. We're looking for shoppers. We're looking for people that are looking to move to a really good school district. We will be using that grant money, the remainder of that grant money, which is about $65,000 to $70,000 left, to market Pryor with a professional marketing firm. And that's what that grant was for, and those are the monies that are going to be doing that. So as we look at that growth, we have to remember that if we're not at the table, we don't have a bite in the game. If we're not in Oklahoma City talking about what Pryor's got going on with the right people at a Select Oklahoma Economic Development Conference, then we don't have our name out there. We're not doing what it is, and we're wasting our time and effort. But at the end of the day, Pryor is on the map, whether it's in Oklahoma, whether it's in Kansas or Arkansas. People are talking about us. Businesses, I walked up to one at the ICSC and I said, "Oh, I'm from Pryor Creek. Have you ever heard of it?" And they said, "Yes, we know where you're at. We want to be there." And I said, "Okay, what do we need to do?" And they said, "Find us a franchisee." Okay. One of them was a UPS store. We all know that's one of the things we need more than anything in Pryor is a good UPS store and a copy, C-O-P-Y, copy shop. We had two different. One of them was the UPS store, and another was Annex Brands that does a couple other. And they said, "If you can get us a franchisee and that location that you said is available, we're in. We'll be in tomorrow." So we know what we need to do, and we know that we've got to tell our story ourselves. We know that we got to put our boots on the ground. There's been some conversations lately about me going to other states and other communities and talking about things. Let me be very clear. I'm doing that to get our name out there. I'm doing that to be a good neighbor. I'm doing that to bring back lists of brokers and bankers and retailers that say, "Hey, I heard you talking about your town in that meeting and I want to be a part of it." And we've had people that build houses. We've had people that have banks that want to get into mortgage lending and help us create those communities. I have brought back so many positive contacts from going to do that. There is no kickback to the mayor for any of that travel. There's no kickback, there's no anything. What there is what I can bring back for Pryor Creek. And if I can help keep us on the map and put us at the table, then I feel like we're making ourselves a good spot in the economic development world that we need to be in. And I will continue to do that as long as it continues to be profitable for the city in terms of the networks that we can build. And so as we go forward over the next couple of months, you're going to see a lot of efforts pushing hard on reputation, whatever we've got to do to keep our reputation good, to make sure that we're good partners and good stewards of our community, to make sure that we keep ourselves in good standing financially, and that we are just doing the best thing that we can do to be a community where people want to be. You all have seen, I'm hoping everybody has seen the new entrance signs that we put up this last week. Those were given to us through a partnership with Elite Manufacturing. Jerry and Casey Cowan stepped up to do 2 of those signs for us, and I said, "Tell me what it would take to get all 4, what I need to pay for the other 2." And Jerry said, "You mean there's 4? I've lived here this long and I didn't know there were 4 signs." And next thing I know, he said, "Come pick up your 4 signs." That was a 0 cost to the city. And so those are the things we're looking at. We're looking at those partnerships with Mays County where we get a call like this morning, first thing in the morning, that says, "Hey, Mayor, we've got a little time. We're ready to do those street projects you were talking about. Can we start?" Well, when do you need to start? Well, we got to be on our next one by the 1st of June so we can do all those streets that you need done. And we don't do it to make people mad. We do it because it's needed. If you know, you know. We do it because it's needed, but we're partnering with the county to save ourselves hundreds of thousands of dollars on asphalt. When we can pay $6 to $7 a ton to have it laid down rather than $60 to $70 a ton, that's worth a partnership. If we can go to one of our Mid-America partners in the businesses down there and say, "Hey, what can you do for our community? We need," whether it's Cherokee Nation, it doesn't matter. We're going to work on that reputation and those partnerships that we have, because in the economic development world, that's the right thing for Pryor Creek to do as a resilient, stronghold county seat that is growing and making good strides. And so I just want to let everybody know that there are so many good things going on right now in Pryor, and the schools are thriving, our finances are trending good, and ultimately, as I said at the end of the state of the city, Pryor is in good standing right now. Pryor is in a good place, and good things are happening here. This is our home. This is our Pryor. We're in control of the narrative, and we will be in control of the narrative that we take going forward on what we can capitalize on and how we can make ourselves better. So that said, if you guys have any comments on that, I'd gladly open the floor to you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
you had asked me to remind you to give an update during this portion about the Graham Community Building Project.
Thank you, Terry. First of all, Terry, can I give you a couple accolades with the group that helped today? We had about 10-ish. We had some gentlemen from Reckless Saints. We had some from the Arts and Humanities. Terry and some of the Main Street Board cleared out the Graham Community Building today so that we can start demolition on that as soon as we need to, as soon as they're ready. The Graham Community Building is going to be off, it's going to be shut off for a while. Today we turned off the gas. We've got some things that we're going to be demoing in there, new ceiling, new floors. There's going to be a lot of renovation that takes place in that building, and at the end of the day, what you can expect to see is a top-notch venue that looks incredibly awesome. It'll be restored. We've got some bowstring rafters upstairs in the attic that are historical in nature. We're going to be painting those and highlighting those with an open ceiling, so you can see that, and the barrel-style roof. Some open lighting, some accessories so the arts group can still hang their artwork. The floor, as of right now, it looks like we're going to end up pulling out the entire floor of the main structure and coming back in with a concrete floor so that it'll be level and solid. But you're going to see a top-notch venue in Pryor. That will probably result in a review of the pricing for the rentals, but it'll be a venue that people will be proud to pay a higher rate to, not higher as in crazy high, but we need to let people know that we're proud of what we've invested in. Again, a lot of that came from a grant, a community incentive grant, much like the one that we're dealing with the marketing. This will be phase one. Phase one will be the main hallway, the main floor. We're going to add a bathroom, an ADA bathroom on the northeast side of the building. We'll be renovating the ladies' restroom into a much more usable and pleasant smelling place. We're keeping the pink tile. We're keeping the pink aesthetics of that because some of that is kind of a historic nature, just like the blue tile in the men's room. We're going to keep that, but it'll have all new plumbing. We're actually hoping to be able to put adjacent to the women's restroom a bridal room so that somebody wants to get married in there and they want to have a place to dress and do so they can have some privacy. We'll have that. We'll have a little groom's room in there as well. The kitchen will be renovated into a community use kitchen. So if you've got like a Homestead Act business and you need to have some place that you can use as your commercial business kitchen, you'll be able to go there once a month, do some making, I guess, bake some things in there so you can say that you do it. That's all part of the grant that we got. And so with that, we're going to use some of the Fund 67 money to match that grant. Fund 67 is the dedicated amount of the bond for that the downtown corridor, as well as the funds that we put away from the sale of the gravel pit and the PYO that'll go to specifically the gravel pit for that building. We are really excited. Along with that, we're going to see a lot of visual changes, like I said right now, and we're proud of the community building. But again, they spent today in the rain, filled up 2 dumpsters and a 40-foot Connex, and pretty much everything but the freezer and the stove are out of that building right now. So, do you have anything you want to add on that, Terry?
Yes, I do want to say that, give accolades to the people that came in and worked out on that today. It couldn't have been done without that handful of volunteers. And could you mind elaborating with them on the, how we're doing this process? Like we've got scissor tail.
Yeah.
Explain all that and
Yeah,
what
so-
the cost is and et cetera.
So right now, we're, like any project, we're working to kind of whittle out some of the engineering budget on things where we're waiting right now for our scissor tail. Let me regroup myself here. I'm not stroking out. Scissor Tail is a company out of Tulsa that specializes in historical renovations. The other structures, if any of you have been to Mother Road Market, and seen the renovation that's taken place there, you'll see that it's the exact same construction, that bowstring rafters with a barrel roof. Scissortail Construction is the one that did that. They're the one that has done a lot of historical renovations in Tulsa. Do what?
Beacon.
Huh?
The Beacon Building?
The Beacon Building. I forget, you're like our construction guru. Thank you. But the idea is that we're through Main Street. Main Street applied for the grant, and so really they're the ones that are kind of managing that. We're doing this as a CMR, which is a construction manager at risk. So Scissortail is taking on all of the bidding and the subs and everything else. We have decided that we learned our lesson from our last big construction project, and we've got a very avid team of people that are working to keep Scissortail in line, to keep them on target so that the money isn't spent wrong. And with any project, when the initial numbers come through, we can say, here's our budget at $362,000, and they're always going to come in and be like, well, here's our budget at $500,000. And we're like, okay, no, that's not working. So what can we start to trim out? We don't need fancy Italian lighting. Let's go down to, basic. So that's where we're at right now, trying to get that. We've got some renderings, some architectural drawings have just come in. And we're just kind of plowing through that right now, trying to get things finalized. One of the things was like the floor. It's actually going to be cheaper and more structurally sound to put the concrete floor in there. We'll do about 18 to 20 inches of aggregate with a 4-inch to 6-inch slab. Is actually going to be cheaper to do than to put in a whole new laid floor, and we get rid of the wallops that are in that floor. So that's kind of where we're at right now. You'll start to see some demolition over there. You'll start to see the insides coming out. Nothing to worry about. It's all being managed very well. What else do we got, Terry?
What's our estimated completion?
So, as with any project, it's all based on the economy around us, but we're hoping to be done in about 6 months with phase 1. Phase 2 will be next grant cycle, which will probably be about this time next year, and that'll be the front of the building where the arts and humanities and the offices are actually at. So this is everything from the side entrance door where you go into the banquet hall, everything from there to the west, so to the alley. Hoping, knock on wood right now, right, is we'll be done by November. Are you good?
Yes.
I want to make sure. Terry's been very, very good on this, and much so a part of it. And so there we go. So anybody else have any further questions about item 1? All right. We'll move on to item 2, discussion and possible action regarding allowing the mayor to seek bids for bailing of properties owned by City of Pryor Creek.
Motion.
Holy flip. All right, we got a motion from Bruce and a second from Steve. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, and so what I did was I put together 2 options, and the main thing I want to do tonight is discuss which option the council would like to do, and I'll tell you how we came across both. There's 2 directions we can go. The first one and I brought our fire chief BK into this because this is, kind of the world he lives when he's not fighting fires. I said, hey, what are the best ways for us to do this? You know the hay industry and how it's going and where we're at. And he initially said best thing to do would be a 60-40 crop share agreement, meaning that we would get 40% of the total yield profits from whoever does it, and they get to keep it all, but 60% of it is theirs. That gets pretty deep into, a lot of detail. And I'll be honest, as we were writing that, Bruce came in, last Wednesday or something?
Couple times.
A couple times. It was all good. It was all good. We had a good time.
Nobody got mad.
No, he even left and said, dang it, we agreed. But I want to say, he came up and we talked it out, and I think the option that I'd like to request the council to really consider is called, we're gonna do it standing, which means basically, we're gonna give you the amount of acreage that we have. We're gonna say, hey, we want a price per bale for a specific size bale, a 4x5 or 5x6. It's all about the same in weight. And then they give us a count on how many bales they've got off of those properties. We put in some requirements for equipment, time frame. We want it up within 14 days of baling. We want to make sure that to ensure the health of the field, we don't cut the stubble shorter than 4 inches. We need to make sure that they carry a general liability insurance policy That typically is $1 million minimum. That sounds like a lot. It's not a lot. Terms and condition, the bidder accepts the land as is. The city makes no guarantee regarding the quality, type, or yield of the hay. Bidders are encouraged to inspect the field for debris, holes, obstructions prior to bidding. City is not responsible for damage to equipment, and I would strongly encourage them to meet with myself and go out and view the property to get access to those. They're public properties, so it's not hard. Then we would have all bids would be returned sealed to the city clerk's office, 12 North Row, Suite B. We reserve the right to reject any or all bid and to award the contract to the bidder whose proposal is deemed most advantageous to the city or in best interest. And those sealed bids would be opened on a determined Tuesday in the council chamber by the deputy clerk, Darla. And then I included a map for each property. So there's basically an RFB for Giles and an RFB for the cemetery properties. I would again recommend that that's the direction we go, is to bid it standing. Anybody have any, please chime in and give me your thoughts.
Well, as you and I have discussed, of course, neither one of us bale hay, but we can talk to a lot of people that have. I think that's the best way to go. The two size bales basically have the same amount of grass, but there's people that have different size balers. So if we put those two options in there, we'll have more bids on it. And I think it'll probably sell itself.
Yeah. So we set a 5x5 or a 4x6 in size. So if that's what you guys are all okay with, we will put these bids out first thing in the morning. And then due to the sensitivity of the season, we need to probably get those back in about 2 weeks. I think from the phone calls and discussions around town, there's no need to wait longer than 2 weeks. Our farm community, ag community is biting at the chomp to get these done, and they're all anxious. So, input? You guys good? All right, and we're good with collecting those bids in 2 weeks?
Yes.
Good with that? Okay.
It would be opened at the first or second council meeting in June?
Yes. Yeah, probably this first one would be pretty close, because we're a week, and
Second, it'd be the second one.
Second one.
it would have to be the second one.
Awarded.
Okay.
We could award it on the second council meeting. We'll open it 2 weeks from tomorrow. Susan, when does your print go out?
I don't print our reference stories.
When does it go out?
It goes out Wednesdays.
So if we can have it to you by tomorrow and midday, we're good. Yep.
So when are we opening the bids?
It would be 2 weeks from the date, 2 weeks from tomorrow.
But not at the council meeting?
Not at the council meeting. It would be in here the Tuesday before that council meeting.
Perfect.
And did you catch that she said it would be next week's paper before that could be in there? It would
Yeah.
be tomorrow.
So 2 weeks from that publication is what we would do.
I would about bet that all the hay balers know about it already.
So you think
And they've all
one,
talked with each other, and so they're ready.
you think we can go 1 week? Do we need to do 2?
I do too.
We'll do 2.
Two, you
All right.
can't get hurt.
We got it. 2 weeks. All right. All right. Go ahead and call for the vote.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Graybill,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
You said it'd be by Monday? I'll have it to you tomorrow. All right, item 3, discussion and possible action regarding an expenditure in the amount of $7,170 to Carmen Concrete LLC for additional work associated with the Pryor Creek Police Department Shooting Range Construction Project.
Motion. Second.
I have a motion from Steve and a second from Kenneth. This is money coming out of the donations from, the contributions, not donation, from Cherokee Nation. And I believe they're doing some groundwork on the rifle range and a little bit more concrete prep. Discussion?
So we don't need an account number listed on here if that's coming?
No, it's going to come out of funds that are held by the EDTA right now. So all of those contributions have gone through the EDTA at the request of Cherokee Nation. And that's just, so we're just saying that we're okay with that.
Mayor, if you don't mind, if you want to, or I can, you want to give an update on the range and where we're at and what we're doing.
Why don't you? Because I'm gonna have to take a drink. I've been talking.
Okay, go ahead. We've got the pistol range pad poured. We've got the backstop, or the target holders down. We have got the barricades installed. We've got the rifle range concrete strips at different ranges already poured. We've got the base for the canopy that's at the OPD, it's poured. We've poured a base for what's going to be the storage unit or office or whatever it's going to be. The big advantage has helped us on this at the end, and I wasn't thinking, as usual, but the police chief's also a contractor. So he started putting things in on this and found out instead of building $125,000 bathrooms, we could probably get them for $5. And so he's pursued that. And we've got it already, the MUB has already, poured or put all the lines in. So we're basically going to be shooting there probably in a month or so.
We got the hydro seeding is done on the berms.
Yep, got that done.
One of the projects that the county is going to do this week should be the asphalt parking and drive on that. So,
That's what was waiting last to do, and it's ready, I think.
yeah, and that was really wet. So we should be ready. I just need to really beg and plead the public to be patient with us as we do this. We're going to have to put up a fence because we've had a lot of mattresses show up out there. And that's not really a place that we plan on sleeping. You might get shot. But we really would like to ask people to please not trespass on that. It is a active construction site. It's an active work site. But most importantly, it is a law enforcement training range, not a dump ground. So,
The mattresses are good for prone shooting.
Trammell, did you hear Trammell? He said put a flock camera out there. Can we get that in the record?
Well, I'm glad you're changing your ways.
I have
So-
no ways of being smart, Alex.
Yeah, good things are happening at that range. We've got a lot of places throughout town that we're looking at. We've talked about fencing that we've got in other places that we're going to be taking down that we might be able to use, or would it be, the old canopy at the old pavilion at the old pool is in really good condition and it's a steel frame. Could we use that over the parking at the range and just move it out there in pieces? And so we're looking at all those things that we can do to make it as efficient as we can and get that done. But it is really, we owe a lot of thanks to the partners in this, which would be Mays County, District 1 and District 2. It will be GRDA and Cherokee Nation. And I'm sure by the end of it, everybody else will be in there. And so as of right now, that is not planned to be open to the public. That will be a training range. If you were to ask me personally, I think we'd try to find a way that eventually we could get the insurance company to let their guard down just a little bit and allow us to hire somebody periodically once a month or whatever to allow the public in there. We're having that discussion, but right now the intent is solely for law enforcement. So if there's no further on that, we'll call for the vote.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Bashirs,
Yes.
Graybill,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire.
Yes.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Terry, for those updates. All right, we will go ahead now and jump to that executive session on the attorney's report. So, item A, possible executive session regarding the collective bargaining agreement between the City of Pryor Creek and the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 116, 25307B2 for the 26-27 fiscal year, and the collective bargaining agreement between the City of Pryor Creek and the Local 3567 of the International Association of Firefighters, AFL-CIO, CLC, for the 26-27 fiscal year.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion from Bashirs and a second from Brown. You can call for the vote.
Bashirs,
Yes.
Graybill,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
All right. Stay tuned. We'll be back for more exciting stuff in a minute. Okay, consider resuming regular session, no action taken during executive session.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion from Kenneth and a second from Steve. Call for the vote.
Graybill,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw. Yes. Rushiers.
Yes.
Okay, possible action based on executive session regarding the collective bargaining agreement between the city of Pryor Creek and the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 116 for the 26-27 fiscal year, and the collective bargaining agreement between the city of Pryor Creek and the local 3567 of the International Association of Firefighters, AFL-CIO, CLC, for the 26-27 fiscal year.
Mayor, I make a motion to accept the FOP's proposed changes to the current CBA for the next fiscal year, contingent on approval of the FOP approving the revised language to the newly added Article 42 of the current CBA, of the proposed change.
Second.
Got a motion and a second as stated. Call for the vote.
Trammell,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Yes.
Lamar. Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw.
Yes.
Rushiers.
Yes.
And Graybill.
Yes.
Charles?
So Mayor, I make a second motion on this action to approve the fire union's proposed changes to their current collective bargaining agreement for the next fiscal years.
Second.
Collective bargaining agreement.
We got a motion from Charles and a second from everybody else. From Steve? Call for the vote.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw.
Yes.
Rushiers.
Yes.
Graybill,
Yes.
Trammell.
Trammell.
Yes.
Thank you. All right,
Excuse me.
we will now go back to the mayor's report. Good golly, that's a lot of people. All right, item 4A, discussion and possible action to authorize a policy allowing 501c nonprofit organizations to provide lunch during their, using their own catering for charitable tournaments held at the Pryor Creek Golf Course.
So moved.
Motion.
I have a motion from Kenneth and a second from Graybill.
Yep.
Discussion on this? You know, I think as we look at some of the things that we're addressing right now, last week we addressed some changes about hydration and stuff like that. I'd like to propose that we allow the 501c3s that are in good standing the opportunity to cater their own meal if they so need to. A lot of the feedback that I get from several organizations is that, you know, we may have a JL's or a Mid-American Grill or somebody who offers to pay for that meal or to provide that meal, and then the way that it is right now in the rules is that can't happen, and that comes at a cost to our nonprofits. The other side to that is if they don't want to, the Bowmans do a great job of cooking burgers and things like that, so they would still have that opportunity to use that resource if they needed. This would just allow for that flexibility. And in there was in your packet was the proposed idea of that. Discussion?
My only things, I want to make sure that anytime we do something like that, we need to make sure it's equal treatment for all 501c3s. And then I'd go as far to say have an insurance coverage if they're going to serve food, and an indemnification clause. Because last thing I want somebody suing the city because somebody else served raw chicken to them on our golf course.
Okay.
So a couple policy tweaks on it, but.
So on that, Jace, just so you're aware, I did 501c3, like 501c, because you're an 8, right? Like the chamber would be an 8. 6, we have 3s. That would just say that
There's 4s also.
as long as they've got the proper documentation, that would allow them to, and they have to be in good standing. So we can put in there those clauses that you added. That's easy.
Yeah, and we might even want to put some type of limitation on it. I don't know that we want anybody, doing a full-blown pig loo out there roasting a, so, but
Well, I do want to protect some of the things at the course, you know, so we did put in there for anybody that didn't get to see that in the packet, that, you know, if that catering includes a drink, that drink would only be bottled water. Anything outside of that would need to be purchased at the pro shop. Coffee, tea, soda, juice, whatever, other adult beverages. We don't want to get into the habit of bringing any of that in, and that is that's what that pro shop is for, it's our concession. But also, we put in there that food cannot go out onto the course, that food is to stay at the building or the patio before or after. So if, let's say, Houston, I'm just gonna pick on you, let's say the chamber wants to serve donuts in the morning or whatever, this would allow them to serve those before the event, or after the event. And so not during the event, there has to be a dedicated time. And with 2 weeks' notice, minimum 2 weeks' notice to the pro shop or to the supervisor out there that they're going to do that. If they don't meet that 2 week, then it has to be done as it has been in the past.
Question,
Yes, please.
if you've got a taco truck, you're gonna set up out there and sell, is that what you're talking about? On a legal, whatever?
If that's what you're doing to cater it, then yes, I don't have a problem.
So you can't buy a pop from the taco truck, you just buy the taco?
Right,
And the water.
right.
You can get water.
We want to make sure we protect those beverages. Donna, please.
Okay. So my questions would be liability,
Mhm.
because I have a food permit license with the Department of Health.
So the city would not assume any liability to that. They would.
You guys
carry-
wouldn't. I don't want to assume liability.
No, they would have to file that, and that's what you're saying is that.
Yeah, I want that
liability.
indemnification not only for the city, but any of our vendors, which would
Correct.
include
Right.
you guys.
100%.
Because I spoke with our Department of Health contact today,
Mm-hmm.
and she states that opens me up as the license holder.
No, we
for
don't want to do that to
liability.
you.
Anytime any food's being brought on, because I'm the license holder there.
Mhm.
So I just need to make sure that we are,
I don't know.
and I've got her name and number. She said if anybody wanted to talk to her about it.
I can call her. I mean,
Well,
that's right.
well, because if,
That's why-
It's a good
yeah,
point. Well, that's
yeah,
fine to answer.
That's why, I just
Yeah.
want to make sure,
if
because.
catering, I'm sorry, is caterings come from such and such chicken shack and they serve somebody raw chicken, does that not fall on the one who prepped and, because they have licensing too, don't they?
They should, and that's why I think one of our policies in this thing needs to be.
Because if they do it, then they should be the ones getting hit, is that, I mean,
Yeah, I just want to make sure if somebody does, because, you know, if somebody's out there for a golf tournament, they don't know who's who. So
Yeah.
when they go to sue everybody, they're going to know them, they're going to
Oh,
know us.
yeah, okay.
I want to make sure
Yeah.
we're all covered if. that-
Tracy, it would be any different when they set up at the park and they sell, and they set up in somebody's place all over town, they sell these trucks. They've all got to have the insurance and the liability stuff.
Right. The only difference with the golf course is if, let's say, they're at Whitaker Park, we don't really manage that per se, as far as have someone there actually addressing it. So if somebody wants to go start a grill there, they can go do that, right?
Well, I mean, the truck pull in there and sell. I've seen trucks set.
Yeah, as long as they have their permitting to go do that.
Yeah.
Here, it's a little bit more, like, obviously, if a food truck is at Whitaker Park, serves raw chicken, Pryor's probably not gonna get sued. Because they know that wasn't us. But if it's at the golf course and we're managing it and everything, they don't necessarily know who's actually serving it. And so I wanna make sure if we all get named because somebody else did it, we're all protected, including.
So if they got the proper coverage, we'll be all right then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we just need to make sure that is in the
Okay.
wording.
That and when would all this be taking effect?
Well, that's part of our discussion tonight, so I think we would probably do it pretty quick. I mean, I don't want to drag it out too long. So if they approve it tonight, my guess is it would probably go into effect first thing in the morning.
But you
they
still
would
have to have a
the
2
2-week
weeks.
notice. So it'd be
It's
2
not
weeks
the
from
2
today.
weeks.
So, and then I think you have worded in there regarding if they don't clean up and leave everything as it was when they came, there could be a cleaning fee. Who's gonna clean up? Who's gonna get the fee?
Well, I think the pro shop would get the fee if they're the ones cleaning it up, so.
So
Or
it'd
if
be
they-
our responsibility.
If they don't, yes. But the idea is we're going to strongly encourage them to clean it up.
Right. And then, you know, this is what we run into when we have the events. I know your wording states no food, drinks, anything that's served through the event goes out onto the carts or the golf course. Who's gonna police that? I mean,
The one that's in charge of the
we've
golf
seen the fact that when he tries to carry out the rules before, he winds up being the bad guy for it though, too. So
Does the pro
Who's-
shop allow them to take stuff out onto the golf course as well, or no?
we'll wrap up food, like someone will be running late for the tournament, and they'll say, can I take mine to go? I'll make them a plate and wrap it up, send it with them. But that's because I'm serving it and I'm the license holder. If you're gonna have someone else come in, now I don't. like
So
I
if
said,
they buy it from a licensed, perfectly legal truck, they can't take it out on the golf course? They have to buy it from you to take it out on the golf?
According to
According to
the
the wording
policy
that is on
that
it.
you're.
No, you're not supposed to
Well,
eat on the golf.
and be clear, we're not speaking specifically about food trucks. If
It's
Chase
Yeah.
decides that, you know,
specific catering.
if Chase has got a nonprofit and he wants to have, I don't know, let's say Robert Brown with Charlie's Chicken has said, hey, I'll cover the lunch.
Okay.
I'll provide the lunch. And Chase says, hey, calls here in 2 weeks in advance and says, hey, Robert's bringing the lunch. Robert's got the license. Well, Robert's responsible for the food. But if the lunch isn't cleaned up, then Chase's group is going to get a fee from you guys for having to clean that up.
I think our biggest issue is the liability.
Just the liability. I mean,
That's the
all.
big issue.
I just,
Well, I think we
From
can
talking.
create that clause
Right.
pretty easy.
From talking to, the health inspector, she has the license, it doesn't matter who brings it out, she's still liable. And that's what they said, so if we can get around that.
Yeah.
Where she's not liable.
Right.
right.
And that's what we're talking about.
That's the only
And
concern.
I'm talking without knowing the answer to this,
Right.
because food licensing is certainly not my specialty. But I think food licensing goes with the server, not necessarily the location. Isn't that right? Not a
It
double
is-
check. I know Abel commissions the location.
What she
what
said
the
today,
She thinks it's the
it
location.
opens me up, because she said that, say someone gets sick, they call the health department. I was out at this event at the golf course. I
Well-
got sick.
Right.
Now we don't know, did they eat pizza from inside? Or was it from the meal that got catered out
Yeah.
there?
Sure.
But I would
That's-
think that.
That's what you
then
were
if-
addressing earlier, Chase, was
Yeah,
they're gonna sue everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
Well,
That's why I
'cause
want us to all-
let me,
You know, they're gonna
let me
get
ask
you,
this
they're gonna
question.
get us, they're gonna get everybody.
And that's our control.
Yeah.
Is not allowing somebody else to come out there and then we get sued for it.
Right, I understand.
We were just
We
trying
don't
to
mind them
avoid
coming out
that. I
there,
mean,
we just don't get
that's,
sued for
Sure,
it, right?
absolutely, none of us wanna
That's
get
the whole
sued.
deal.
Yeah,
yeah, we don't want to, we don't want the city, we
Right.
don't want,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
we're just trying to look, I mean,
Yeah. So
the
that's-
wording's great, I mean,
that's to
yeah, if
be
we can make it
addressed, so
work.
you can research that.
Well, I'm sure this is a fixable thing.
Right.
How about we table,
Table it.
we do some research on it? Because I don't, food handling law is one I've never litigated, surprisingly.
They're operating their business on city-owned property,
Right.
so where would that ultimately, where's liability? It's not on them, it's the city.
It is if I'm the license holder.
Yeah, I think they can certainly
It's in my
be sued.
name.
Yeah.
Well, at the Okie Homestead Festival, with all the food trucks they have, who's responsible? Is it the county for the fairgrounds? Is it the event hoster, the one who's hosting the event, or is it the food truck
I believe
themselves?
that they
Everybody
would
can
have-
get roped in, and that's what I'm trying to
We,
avoid.
we probably ought to have a contract written.
Hey, Keith,
Yeah, that's exactly what it is you, if you're gonna do
down here at
that.
at the Bluegrass Festival.
Whenever somebody rents out the golf course for something like this, I think
They
we
have
put this
food
in
trucks
that
Yeah, how's-
contract, if you're going
Yeah.
to have it.
How's that apply to Bluegrass Festival? You got vendors all
It's
over.
everywhere. Just table it.
Well, and they have to get permitting.
Yeah, each vendor has their own.
Right,
Yeah,
Table it.
permit, and then they have to get licenses.
that's how, when we had the boo-ha-ha out there, everybody who came out as a vendor, they were all set up with their own licenses and permits.
Right.
Well, what happens down at Bluegrass Festival? We had several food
Yeah,
trucks down
of course,
there.
yeah.
Well, the laws have changed.
Yeah, well, they all have to get their own individual permitting and
Right.
everything too.
When they do that, though, if somebody gets sick at one of those vendors, then are we responsible, or can we be held responsible?
I think it'd be tough to hold us responsible, but I want to make sure.
But that's also why we have insurance policies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be tough on that, because it's an independent deal.
So you-
But I get
It is, he's recommending we table it.
yeah, I definitely get their concerns, so let me look into
Who
it.
had the motion?
Brashears.
Yeah, do we want to table or just no action?
Table.
All right,
Table
well,
till next meeting.
yeah, I'll change my motion to table to next meeting.
I think you had,
Second, yes.
you had the second. Okay, got a motion and a second to table till next meeting. Call for the vote.
Smith?
No.
Did you say no?
No.
Lamar?
Yes.
Shropshire?
Yes.
Bradshaw?
Yes.
Rushiers?
Yes.
Craybill?
Yes.
Trammell?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
All right, thank you, guys. Thank you, Bowmans, for your input on that. Discussion and possible action regarding the opening of both sealed and non-sealed bids, specifically related to the right-of-way mowing bids and establishing a standard operating procedure going forward for all bid openings.
So moved.
Second.
I got a motion from Kenneth and a second from Charles. After we made the last discussion, last council meeting about opening the right-of-way bids, we had the recommendation to open those in street committee meeting. And I was approached by several of the council to revisit this, that we had already established a standard operating procedure to open those in the council chambers at 2:00 with the deputy clerk. So I'm going to open this up for discussion, but we can't put the bids out for right-of-way mowing till we decide when we're going to open the bids, because that has to go in that bid request, so.
So I think, probably the most vocal to the mayor about this, and actually after the last council meeting, whenever we did make that change, and I was driving home from the council meeting, I got to thinking, we had previously set up a process where the bids would be open in this council chamber by a certain individual at a certain time, and whenever we changed that, or whenever we put that in place, we established an internal control. And I'm an auditor, I'm going to talk about internal controls tonight. We established an internal control. And a key component of any internal control is a standardized process. If you don't have standardized processes, those controls will not ever operate as effectively as they can. So I think we need to have that internal control to state that all bids, regardless of what they're for, will be opened in this council chamber at 2 p.m. on the listed date by the deputy city clerk, or if that deputy city clerk isn't available, whoever the city clerk designates to replace the deputy city clerk for that individual opening.
What are your thoughts on that?
I
Anna?
agree.
Other discussion?
Yes. I have no problem with that at all. No problem at all. But I would like to ask Mayor, I know Councilman Trammell's take on this, but who are the several council members that approached you about this besides?
I think if those council members
Trammell?
want to voice their opinion, they're adults and they can do that right now.
I did, because same thing, I kind of remembered us talking about that.
Okay, no problem.
Just from a standpoint of doing bid openings, to have that consistency, the same person doing it at the same time, you lessen the chances of errors being made. And so,
Okay.
that consistency is,
Now, just as a matter of procedure, and again, I'm not opposed to it all, I'm cool, I'm on board with it. But as a matter of procedure, since the council had already voted previously to do it at a certain time and date, do we need to rescind that motion first?
I think your motion here can override it.
Okay,
I don't think you need two different ones.
fair enough. I call for the vote then.
There you go.
Lamar?
Yes.
Shropshire?
Yes.
Bradshaw?
Yes.
Rushiers?
Yes.
Craybill?
yes.
Trammell?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Thank you. Item D, discussion and possible action to allow the mayor to take immediate,
C.
C.
what did I say?
D.
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 Listen, I want to skip around. I'm sorry, got you excited back there. Discussion and possible action regarding the feasibility of creating a new internal city accountant position to handle all city accounting and related functions rather than contracting them out.
Second.
I got a motion from Kenneth and a second from Charles. This has been kind of a long-held conversation as we look at things that we've done. This is in no way, shape, or form pointing fingers or finding blame or anything like that. Please understand, and I don't want any accusation on that with the public. But the point is that if we look at the biggest situation we've had problems with in the last 7 years, we'll start 7, is that we've had accounting problems. We've had issues with our Cassell, we've had issues with our accounts, we've had issues where if we had that internal mechanism and it was somebody who was dedicated to the finances of the city internally, I think that would give us a better opportunity to get things better laid out. I think we would do there. The thing we need to know is that this will have to be budgeted, so it would not take effect until the next year. But we do need to really consider how that would look if we could bring our accounting person in-house.
So here's what I would propose. And again, I'm the one that approached the mayor on this. After the last 2 budget committee meetings, there's been an item on the agenda to move some funds out of unallocated reserves to cover some over expenditures in specific accounts. I recognize that any budget is just that, it's an estimate. There's always going to be the possibility of overspending accounts based on unforeseen circumstances. But the problem I see with that is this council does not have timely and historically accurate financial information to make informed decisions. And what I'm about to say is in no way against the city clerk's office, no way whatsoever. The city clerk's responsible for the day-to-day bookkeeping, accounting, and preparation of the financial statements. They are not accountants. They should not be held with that burden. That we need to have an in-house accountant who is a trained accountant who understands the accounting software and can do, and would report to the mayor to do nothing but the accounting entries and the preparation and generation of the financial statements. I would propose tonight, we don't need to rush this. As the mayor said, it's not going to happen right away. I'd propose that the mayor put together an ad hoc committee to look at the feasibility of this. I know I've talked to Lori, our city treasurer, in the past. She said, maybe if you did bring a city accountant in, you possibly would not even need the position of a city treasurer anymore. That in-house city accountant could do the treasurer's job as well. If we went down that road, that would require a vote of the people to change the charter. And I think that ad hoc committee needs to talk to Lori about what she does and what what her thoughts are on this. They need to talk to our current accountant, Mr. Coker, about this as well to get an understanding of it. We definitely need to spend time talking to the city clerk's office, Hannah, about, what her thoughts are on this and just how much of a burden it is.
Would we need the city treasurer, though, just for a second?
Hang on a second. And then I think, if it does, I actually reached out to the election board. If we got anything on the August runoff primary, the resolution would have to be to her by June 10th. That's just not going to happen at this point. But if we did this, started this right away, we could get, if needed, a vote to the people to change the charter on the November 3rd general election if we got the resolution to the county election board by August 19th. So again, the ad hoc committee, whoever the mayor appoints, would be responsible for talking to the city clerk, the city treasurer, the current city accountant, and formulating something to come back to the mayor and this council on the feasibility of doing this. And if it is feasible, how would we go about doing it? Obviously, if, we would have to work with Chase as well on any language to a resolution. Didn't mean to leave you out. Anyway, I'm done.
Troy, you had something? or-
Yeah, don't we need another set of eyes, though? Once we have one person doing it, don't we need another set of eyes to check over it and make sure it's all correct?
One person. I would think an ad hoc committee would be more than one
Just
person.
talking about if we have.
No, after,
Accountant.
I mean, the treasurer, that's what she does, is make sure that the information she's getting.
Well, I don't know, that's why we need to talk to why we need to talk to her.
Right.
But if you go to the private industry, the
Yeah.
in-house accountant, there is not a second set of eyes. That second set of eyes is your annual financial statement audit by the independent auditor, which we have to continue to do by state law anyway, so. Anyway, I mean, I don't want to take these actions without very detailed conversations with Lori.
I think it's a good thing for us to start talking about. Yes, come on up.
Well, you're talking about me, if, and just consider, if you're considering changing the charter, then maybe we should move away from having a strong mayor and having, a different form of government, because we're the only ones, really, especially in our area, who operate with a strong mayor. So,
I don't want to get that started.
well, and that's my point. That's obviously my point.
If we're really gonna do it, we probably ought to appoint 2 or 3 different positions selected, then you really get a good fight going.
Right, right. So, I mean, I think, to your point, yes, I feel like that is what I do, is I'm going through the previous month's work and finding things that need to be corrected, if there are corrections to be made. So, and in no way, shape, or form do I would plan to step down or step away from my duties here.
Sure.
Because I swore an oath for office, so that's all I really wanted to say. Happy to talk to anyone.
Can I ask her a question?
Yeah.
Lori,
Yes.
not wanting to take away your position at all, but what is your gut feedback or comment about going to a full-time accountant versus a contractor like Mr. Coker? Is it a good thing, or is it a bad thing, or is it?
Mr. Cochler's very experienced. It works with several different cities and definitely knows what he's doing when it comes to that. I think that what you are getting now in terms of a financial statement is so much more efficient than anything you saw in the previous. I myself have seen, I brag on Hannah and the staff all the time. I see just a tremendous amount of efficiency and improvement in this calendar year since we started, and it's just amazing how much more that I can do. I'm not spending 80 hours here a month, and I was before, trying to just to get through the general fund by itself. So we've definitely come a long way, and we're trying to find even more ways to be more efficient. Our software is a good software, and I think that we can utilize it. And anything that we can do to improve, you know, we want to be able to provide that to the city council.
So in your professional opinion, you don't think it's a good idea to go to an internal accountant, full-time employee of the city?
That's going to be a decision that, as Charles said, you need to discuss with.
Yeah, and
you
that's
decide
exactly
to
what
have-
you're doing. You're trying to force a decision tonight.
No,
And
I'm just
saying we
asking.
need to do due diligence here. You know, if we're going to sit here and interview her publicly tonight, we need to do so with Hannah. We need to get Coker up here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the intent. You're trying to sway this already. So, I mean,
No, I'm not.
again, I'm asking for an ad hoc committee that you put together to look into this. That's all I'm asking for.
I don't see.
You're gonna have to have an accountant, whether it's internal, as Charles is suggesting, or a contractor. You're gonna have to have an accountant, so.
I don't see any damage in looking into it and seeing. And at least we'll know. And then that will be, I'll either get it changed or be no more discussion about it, either one.
I just want to put in, I'm not advocating for or against, right? I want to be very clear, but there are some things that on one side we need to remember, and the other side is that bringing it in-house is going to be significantly more expensive than what we have now. Mr. Colker charges us $29,900 a year for the services he gets. That said, having somebody in-house may give us that extra attention to it that we need, and would relieve Hannah of a lot of her time now that she is, I think it's fair to say when we talk, desperate to spend on other things.
Do you have one dedicated person that does the bookkeeping and the AP, AR?
Yeah, accounts payable is Darla, but I'm essentially all the other.
So she just does accounts payable? And then you do everything else, instead of having one person do
We have,
both positions?
right,
Okay.
it needs to be, we do need to look at how we are divvying out responsibilities. But as coming in, as it was already established, the bulk of the work is actually on the clerk.
So
The
is there,
support staff, they're doing a lot of stuff. I'm just saying.
Sure.
It all heads with me.
is the person that's doing the AP, are they doing just that job, or are there
No.
other things that they're doing?
They're doing a
That
ton of
can
other
be
things.
maybe delegated to somebody else and give bookkeeping to one person and then have maybe somebody oversee?
Again,
That
these are the
work.
types of questions that an ad hoc committee
Yeah,
needs to
I've
be doing
got-
due diligence and researching.
I
I
have a
agree.
lot of things that I could present to help make better decisions, not on the fly.
I think if we decide to go ahead and put together an ad hoc committee, no harm, no foul. We find out if it's going to work or it's not going to work, if it's needed or it's not needed. I don't think in any way, shape, or form, we want to make anybody feel inferior that they've not done their job. But is that where you were kind of going with this idea? Is
Yep.
just see if it, feasibility and practicalities? So.
Okay.
We love our treasurer. Sure, why not? Come on up, Chad.
For anybody that doesn't know, I'm also Hannah's husband, Chad Morris. I'm not going to speak as her husband, but as a trained accountant. So one of the things I was shocked by when she took over this position was accounting is not something that you can fake it till you make it in. It's a 4-year degree for a reason, right? And it's a pretty intense degree. Zach is absolutely right. This will cost the city quite a bit of money. Just as a shot across the bow, you're probably talking about $100,000 in addition to what you're currently paying your current person, right? I'm thinking general market for this type of a position is somewhere between 110 and 175. I think it is much, much, much needed. I've seen what Hannah did. It was in no way trying to assume any glory for it, but it was very fortunate for the city that she happened to be married to an accountant. I don't know if you guys saw that I was here a lot as she was starting to get going, because, God bless her and whoever was the controller before, the clerk before. This is not something that you need to be trained in this, and there is nothing in the title of the city clerk that would lead a person to think that they need to know how to do these types
Accounting
of
degree.
things. And I think it's a real mistake to the city to not have somebody that is really doing this. And I don't want to weigh in too much, but I can say that I have many times tried to outsource my accounting functions, especially some of the more transactional functions, going so far as to done it once to Cebu, Philippines. I've done it once to India. I've done it once to just create like a central warehousing. Every time it has come back and bit me in the butt, because what ends up happening is you end up having to let other people go that would have been doing the work. They don't do really any thought work. They just are doing the, if this, then this, and reading through a process script. So in my opinion, you are going to need an internal person that is going to do this. I won't try to make an opinion as to whether or not that person reports to the mayor or to the clerk, but you might want to look at what other positions are currently being, as Autumn was pointing out, other things that are kind of being apportioned to different positions throughout the organization, because basically they're doing a lion's share of work that, if you actually read the charter, none of that's even mentioned by the city clerk, right? There's kind of a big hole in the charter for who's going to do the accounting, but it probably is not somebody that, like Jeff Polker, right, that is just coming in, and in my view, what he's doing is looking at, from a CPA perspective, to give an overall opinion, is this accurate or not, right? And every once in a while to ask some questions if there's some nuance to the, hey, what should I do here? And I think he does a reasonable job of that, but you're looking at a pretty big position that is sorely missed, I think, in our structure at the moment. So that's it for me.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for your professional input. All right, further discussion? We have
So just for clarity, what is the motion?
the motion is to create what is the motion as you have it, Hannah? Can you read that back? I think it's as read.
Yes. Discuss the feasibility to create. So
Who made the motion?
Like an ad hoc committee.
So that needs to be changed by.
you want to
So the
change it
motion
to
tonight, the vote tonight would
create
be,
an ad hoc?
I'm sorry, my apologies. Go
Are
ahead.
you wanting to change your motion to?
I didn't make the motion, but to me, the feasibility, we would take the vote tonight to move forward with the feasibility of creating the position. And then that moving forward would be the mayor creating an ad hoc committee.
So the motion would be to allow me to create an ad hoc committee to research the feasibility.
That's what I would say.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Makes more sense. So Brashears?
Yeah.
You agree?
I agree.
And who had the second?
Charles, I think.
Trammell?
Call for the vote.
Shropshire?
Yes.
Bradshaw?
Yes.
Brashears?
Yes.
Graybill?
Yes.
Trammell?
Yes,
Brown?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Lamar?
Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate that good conversation. Thank you, Chad, for your input, and Lori, we love you for what you do for us. All right, discussion and possible action to allow the mayor to take immediate and necessary steps to correct zoning between Northeast First Street and Highway 20 and North Indianola and Bailey Street. These residential properties are currently zoned as Commercial General, CG, and should be zoned as Single Family Residential, RS. Any expense incurred with this action will be at cost to the city.
So moved.
I have a motion from Choi and a second from Brashears. So here's the deal. We have dug into this and dug into this. We have several people that have patiently waited tonight. Thank you so much. Bruce, right? What are your, I'm sorry. Mike, I'm sorry, I got the B part. And okay. So thank you for waiting patiently while we do everything else. Here's the deal. We have a section of land there that it talks about in that description from Northeast First Street to Highway 20, and then from North Indianola to North Bailey. In that, it's all currently zoned Commercial General. We have a lot of properties in there that are trying to be sold and acquired, and the problem is that our zoning in that didn't match what the county has. And the county, after talking to the county, they do it based on use. So if it's a gas station at one point and then it's turned to a house, it's gonna be residential. That's how they do it. They don't have any set zoning for anything. It's based strictly on usage. If a house is converted to a gas station, then it becomes CAR, whatever. The point is that these houses are coming into problems. We had this about a year ago, I think, wasn't it about a year ago? And we've got to get this fixed. We cannot find anything, any minutes relating to when that zoning was specifically made by the city. The county has nothing in their minutes saying that it was specifically not. The point is, we can't find anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to start that process immediately, first thing in the morning, to rezone that. We've got to follow the process through the planning and zoning. We've got to do a 300-foot radius. That is the legal process for liabilities. But we want to make sure that some of those properties have requested to stay commercial. So what we're going to do is we're going to allow once we set this up and we get it moving, we're going to send out a letter listing specifically all of those properties that would be affected by this, and any of those properties that choose to stay commercial general will have a 60-day appeal period to stay that way. And then that way, that specific thing can be done. We want to make sure that we get this done right, because this is a problem. And unfortunately, we weren't made aware of this issue until this happened the last time on Indianola. And now we've got it on Aura, correct? And so that's what we want to do. I want to get the ball rolling on this immediate and be able to get all of that done without having to keep coming back to deal with this every 6 months. So on that, I'd like to hear any discussion, but ultimately I'd like for you guys to allow this to be started.
Mayor, has P&Z examined this or given an opinion on it or anything?
We're going to kick it straight to them as soon as you guys say yes. So they're aware that these problems are out there. We just have to get the ball rolling fast. Because a lot of times also what's happening, Charles, you got a little real estate in your background, you can jump in, is that sometimes these people that are looking to get these homes they're dealing with rates. And the rates can go up or go down, and they're trying to preserve a rate lock. We want to make sure that at least for some of those that are in the process now, we can assure them that this is being handled and they can go ahead with their processes. And if that requires us to write a letter saying, hey, we're moving on it and we'll back you on this because we know it's going to go through, that's what we want to do so that nobody gets hosed in the bank because of the city's negligence.
And to your point, time is of the essence here because that rate lock will expire at the end of this month. I believe next week.
If I may,
Yeah, come up to the mic and kind of, you're on the one side if you'll.
the property that we're addressing is at 7 Aura Street. The buyers and the sellers did not know that this was listed as general commercial. They're in a bond program for special financing. The buyers are, that require government backing. The government, in its infinite wisdom, will not approve the property listed as commercial general because it's stated that no residential property, no residential dwelling can be rebuilt if it's in a total loss. So consequently, they can't get financing until there's a letter stating that they can rebuild the residential in the same dwelling or the same footprint of the original foundation, that keeps it from being overexpanded or whatever the case may be. So we were supposed to close like 3 weeks ago before this came up. So we're just trying to ask that we maybe get a letter from the council, from the mayor, stating that we're going to move forward with getting this corrected down the road, that we can move forward with the government financing and the bond program.
And that's what we're looking for. And I talked briefly with Chase about that, and I think I'm okay to write that letter.
Right.
But not saying, we've got to make sure that we're following the, Chase, chime in.
So I have no problem with us writing a letter that we're in the process of getting it fixed, but we can't promise anything because we don't know how everybody's going to vote. So procedurally, what we've got to do is send out mailers to the whole area, and then the 300 yards or whatever it is, saying, hey, this area needs to be residential, it's zoned incorrectly, this is the date of the hearing for all of them, anybody who objects, show up. And I don't think anybody really knows what to expect on that night, and that'll be in front of P and Z.
Yeah, I don't, we were hoping to get the letter that it would allow us to move forward. I'm sure that that's going to be a timing issue for,
We can write a letter saying we're starting this process, but we can't guarantee, because it's possible everybody shows up and objects.
yeah.
Knowing the area, I don't think that's what's going to happen.
Likelihood is that's not gonna happen, but we did have property owner that said, I wanna stay.
Yeah.
But I think the way that we're gonna try to handle that should accommodate.
Well, we'll certainly look forward to the letter and get it submitted to see if we can get the underwriters to, approve it, per the government regulations. So we'll be happy to take that.
Yep,
Thank you, guys.
That's as fast as we can move on it, so we'll do the best we can. But we wanna make sure that we fix that zoning issue for good.
So it's still gonna have to go through the planning and zoning process formalities.
We're just gonna send.
Which is still gonna take a while.
See, we're immediately acting on this, and here's
Yeah,
what
the
we're.
difference is we're the ones initiating it instead of the property owners.
Okay.
For all of those.
So, all right, call for the vote.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Graybill,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire.
Yes.
Pretty sure that's not out there. All right, item E, discussion and possible action regarding the backfill of one vacant existing position at the cemetery.
Motion?
Second.
I got a motion from Bradshaw and a second from Trammell. This is backfilling the position from Charlie, who retired, almost 2 years ago. They've been inundated with issues at the cemetery. I think we see that the tornado that we had in June kind of set them back a few months' worth of work, trying to get that stuff fixed up after the community was there. But this is a backfill position. Discussion? Call for the vote.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Graybill,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire.
Yes.
Bradshaw.
Yes.
No more whining, Frank.
Have you got somebody picked out? Have you got somebody picked out?
No, he's going to go through the
Gotta
application.
go look, oh no.
To
Okay.
get that summer help. All right. Committee reports, budget personnel,
Next month, 9th.
okay, street maintenance.
Canceled.
We are canceling this meeting.
Yes.
Would you care to give a really quick 30,000-foot view of what's going on right now?
I would love to. However, does that comply with your rule on that? What?
Yeah, just give us an update.
Okay.
I'm asking you for the update.
Okay, copy that. Okay. The street committee has been working with the street department and the engineer, and the engineer has come and presented and got his plans together and is still working on getting the information together to go out for the bids on the projects. And after a meeting that the mayor had, last week or a week ago Friday?
Last Thursday.
What was Dale's timeline on when he expects to be able to have this ready to go out for the actual bidding process?
The projects that we have on the table right now, a lot of them are ready to roll. He had a few, before he puts them out for his last hurrah, he brings them in and says, hey, double check this with Buddy and myself, and we go over it. And then as soon as that was done, that's when I kind of tried to update you, Terry. But they're going to be going out right now. We've also got some of those projects we're looking at possibly taking off of the contract and working with the county on.
Yes.
For example, Dog Pound Road is one we might. The county commissioners suggested another method that wouldn't involve boring and core samples and heaven knows what else. Rather just couple layers of overlay would be sufficient. So we sat down, we talked about that. We had one bid for the Lock and Colonial. No, is it Lock and Colonial, Charles? Yours?
It's just
Your
on
neighbor?
Lock Street.
Yeah, over there, there's a drainage thing. We had one come in there, so we'll have to get that started. But for the most part, I think we're ready to roll on, I'd say 95% of the projects. So those will be going out to bid, should be this week,
Okay, going out to bid
going out to bid.
and expecting that they would be open when?
Oh, what is it, 21, 28 days, I think, something like that, that they have to go out, and then 21 days, and then we'll get those back.
The end of June.
Yep.
Okay. And I also wanted to report that the Clayton Road project is complete. And believe it or not, it's a nice, new, smooth road that costs several $100,000. And some people are happy and some people are not happy that they have a smooth road. They want chug holes put back in it to keep speeders down. The project at Third and Van is in the works right now as we speak. And those two projects are almost done or working on. So the next big road project will be Dog Pound Road, as far as that goes. And we also still have the Cemetery Hill project that they're still working on to come up with some fine tuning on how to proceed with that one. And then some alleys.
Correct.
And then some also areas down in the area of Lock Street. And I think that was about it, wasn't it? Jackson Street is a big one that's gonna be on the project list too. And, the alley behind the junior high school or behind the old Graham Memorial Auditorium is
Yes.
still yet on there.
And then we have possible updates from ODOT as well.
Yes.
So, ODOT called Thursday, and they've come up with a solution for Carbide and Highway 20. Let me tell you what,
I know what it is.
Oh, that's why.
said, oh, no. No, this is great. So ideally, right now, listen, I know I've said a lot of things that ODOT said they would never do, and by God, that's what they said they're gonna do. I don't know where they found the fairy dust, but they're going to, the concept right now that they've come up with is that they're going to do they're going to narrow Highway 20 eastbound and westbound down to one lane at that intersection and put in a four-way light. That's the interim. Jace, you all right over there? Don't fall out of that chair, you'll bust your shoulder up. The interim is preliminary. God, I feel bad saying this because I know I've told everybody it never happened. They want to put a roundabout. So that will go to a roundabout. That said, they want to enter into a maintenance agreement. That'll have to be illuminated. I said, we will absolutely illuminate our 6 feet of that intersection. He said, well, what do we got to do to get you to take care of the whole thing? And I said, I want 100 feet on the other side of the intersection. Give us the other side of so extend us out 100 feet. It's either all ours or not. And they said, it's done. Write the letter. So there's that. And then we've talked about looking at a road diet on Main Street through town, which would basically save us a lot of hassle and a lot of headache, but it would take us down to an eastbound lane and a westbound lane with a center turn lane throughout. That would slow down the traffic, but it would speed up the efficiency of getting through town. And ODOT would then remove the stoplights and go to stop signs on every other street alternating north and south, just as we are through the rest of the town. And that would actually, talking with Dale and everybody that's talked to that, the Traffic Engineering Division, they feel that that is actually the safest and most cost-effective, ultimately saving the city over $500,000 in replacing stoplights over the next even just 5 years. So that's the update on streets.
That's their plan as of this week,
As of Thursday last week, that is their plan.
verbally.
Verbally, from
Nothing in stone yet.
Trapper Parks, our favorite person, with the head of the traffic division. So a lot of, I guess the reason that street maintenance report is important, the city alone's put over $2.5 million into streets and drainage this quarter, and working with ODOT and keeping those partnerships, we're starting to see some real momentum to things that have been hazards and dangerous things to our community. Okay, now, ordinance and insurance.
Do we
Okay.
even have anyone on that?
To be determined. That's a great.
Say, I'm not
All right.
done it.
Do I have any unforeseeable? I do not. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Brashears and a second from Charles. Call for the vote.
Graybill,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Shears.
Yes.
All right. Now we will call to order the Pryor Public Works Authority and approve the minutes of the May 5th, 2026 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
A motion from Brashears and a second from Choya. You can call for the vote when you're ready.
Trammell,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Shears,
Yes.
Graybill.
Yes.
Approve claims for purchase orders of Pryor Public Works Authority through May 19th, 2026.
So moved.
Motion from Terry, second from Brashears. Call for the vote.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Shears,
Yes.
Graybill,
Yes.
Trammell.
Yes.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Who had the motion? I'm sorry. Kenneth had the motion. Terry had the second. You can call for the vote when you're ready.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Shears,
Yes.
Graybill,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Sorry, I saw at the bottom, the addendum is down here as well, and I was like,
We